Dhamma Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Welcome to our morning japa and book reading. Thank you for joining. Haribol to our Grace Anandani Gopika Mataji for beginning the call and leading the chanting this morning. And thank you all for joining. We'll start with our Mangalacharan prayers and then we will read Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminate Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna. Good to see Pawan Prabhuji. Welcome back after some
Hare
break. Hope you're
Krishna.
doing well. Hope you're feeling well. Thank you. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Okay, so let's continue. We will sing our prayer of the week. Every day of the week we sing one. Each week we sing a prayer. This whole week we have been singing this beautiful prayer by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, who is a direct disciple of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And just as we celebrated Sri Nityananda Trayodashi yesterday at the center, in the company of His Grace Adi Gadadhar Prabhu. So very nicely he explained the glories of Sri Nityananda Prabhu and his devotees, his disciples. Yesterday we talked about the story of Krishna Das, one of the disciples of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Like that, Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur is a very exalted Vaishnava, of disciple of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and he composed this beautiful 8 verses glorifying Sri Nityananda Prabhu. So by singing this prayer, we're directly associating with these exalted Vaishnavas, and we are like switching on, like the powerhouse is there, right? And this is the connection that we get to Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And once we have the connection, then the light glows, the spark ignites. So like that. So let's recite this prayer and then we will read the translation and then we'll go to Prabhupada Lilamrit. Sarachandra-bhrantim spuradamalakantim gajagatim haripremonmaktam dhritaparamasattvam smitamukham sada gurnanetram karakalitavetram kalibhidam bhaje nityanandam bhajantarukandam niravadhi रसानामागारं स्वजनगणसर्वस्वमतुलं तदीयैकप्राण प्रमितवसुधा जानवपतिं सदा प्रेमोन्मादं परमविदितं मन्दमानसां भजे नित्यानन्दं भजनतरुकन्धं निरवधि शचीसूनुप्रेष्ठं निखिलजगदिष्टं सुखमयं कलौ मज्जज्जीवो धरणकर्णो दाम करुणं हरेराख्यानाद्वा भवजलधिगर्वोन्नतिहरं भजे नित्यानन्दं भजनतरुकन्दं निरवधि अये भ्रातर्नीणां कलिकलुषिणां किं नु भविता तथा प्रायश्चित्तं रचय यदनायासत इमे व्रजन्ति त्वामित्थं सह भगवता मन्त्रयति यो भजे नित्यानन्दं भजनतरुकन्दं निरवधि यथेष्टं रे भ्रातः कुरु हरिहरिध्वानम् अनिशम् ततो वः संसारा बुधितरणदायो मयि लगेत् इदं बाहुस्फोटेरटतिरटयन् यः प्रतिगृहं भजे नित्यानन्दं जनतरुकन्दं निरवधि बलात् संसाराम्भो निधिहरन कुम्भोद्भवमहो सतां श्रेयः सिन्धो नतिकुमुदबन्धुं समुदितं खलश्रेणी स्फूर्जित् तिमिरहरसूर्यप्रभमहं भजे नित्यानन्दं भजनतरुकन्दं निरवधि नटन्तं गायन्तं हरिमनुवदन्तं पथि पथि व्रजन्तं पश्यन्तं स्वमपि न दयन्तं जनगणं प्रकुर्वन्तं सन्तं सकरुणदृगन्तं प्रकलनात् भजे नित्यानन्दं भजनतरुकन्दं निरवधि सुबिभ्राणां भ्रातुः करसरसिजं कोमलतरं मिथो वक्त्रालोकोच्छलितपरमानन्दहृदयं भ्रमन्तं माधुर्यैरहह मदयन्तं पुरजनान् भजे नित्यानन्दं भजनतरुकन्दं निरवधि रसानामाधारं रसिकवरसद्वैष्णवधनं रसागारं सारं पतितततितारं स्मरनतः परं नित्यानन्दाष्टकमिदमपूर्वं पतति यः तदङ्घ्रिद्वन्द्वाब्जं स्फुरतु नितरां तस्य हृदये हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री नित्यानंदाष्टकम की जय। श्री वृंदावन दास ठाकुर महाशय की जय। जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। Okay, anybody would like to read the translation in English?
I will try to read. Oh, yes, Prabhu. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Translation. I perpetually worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, whose bright face mocks like full moon, autumn moon, whose pure complexion glistens, whose gaits is like that the maddened elephant, who is always intoxicated in Krishna prema, who embodies pure spiritual energy, whose face holds a gentle smile, whose eyes are always rolling due to his absorption in Krishna prema, whose lotus hands holds a glowing staff, and who, by the performance of Nama Sankirtana, pierces the influence of Kali Yuga. Number 2. I perpetually worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, who is mainstay of all the rasas, who is everything to his devotee, who is beyond compare, who is the master of both Vasudha and Janava Devi, who considers him more dear to them than their own lives, who is always maddened in Krishna prema, and who is unknown only to those of meager intelligence. Number 3. I perpetually worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, who is very dear to Sri Satyananda, who is worshipped by the entire universe, who is embodiment of happiness, who possesses infinite mercy of delivering the souls who are drowning in the age of Kali, and who, by the performance of Sri Harinama Sankirtana, thoughts the progressing false pride of the ocean of repeated birth and death. Number 4. I perpetually worship Sri Nityananda, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, who is said to be Krishna Chaitanya. Hey brother Gauranga, what will be the destination of the sinful soul? Sinful souls of Kali Yuga, and how they will be redeemed? please devise a method by which they will be easily attain you. I perpetually worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, who wandered around Bengal and approaching the door of each and every home, threw open his arms and explained, "O brothers, all of you should eternally perform Sri Harinam Sankirtana together. By doing so, I will take the responsibility to deliver you all from the ocean of material existence." Number 6, I eternally worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, who is the Agastya Muni, who forcibly swallowed the ocean of repeated birth and death, who is a rising full moon which increases the ocean of the saintly person's welfare, and who is a sun which dissipates the darkness of ignorance cast by the various class of misconceptions. 7, I eternally worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of tree of Krishna Bhakti, who wandered on the every path of Bengal, dancing, singing, and calling out, Hari Bol, and who lovingly bestowed the merciful sidelong glance upon those who were not compassionate to even their own slaves. Number 8, I eternally worship Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the root of the Bhakti tree, who held the supremely soft lotus hand of his brother Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, whose heart becomes filled with the highest bliss. Then the two brothers gazed into each other's faces, and who wandered here and there, delivering the township of with his sweetness. Number 9, may Sri Nityananda Prabhu place his lotus feet in the heart of one of loving recites this unprecedented Nityanandasa Astaka, which is the reservoir of rasa, the greatest treasure of the most exalted of the rasa.
Rasika Vaishnavas.
Rasika
Vaishnavas.
Vaishnavas, and the storehouse of the essence of Bhakti rasa. The Astaka is sung in the melody of known as a Shikharini.
Shikharini. Thank you,
Shikharini.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you so much for reading, despite you're not feeling well. So, very grateful. Thank you so much. Yes. Anything you want to share from this prayer, Prabhuji? आपको कुछ अच्छा लगा? Any reflection?
Yes, Prabhuji, this, as you explained, this is the highest of the all rasa,
Hmm.
and the both brothers are there to take the fallen soul from here to Krishna Loka. Now it's up to us to be in the group
Hmm.
and celebrate and follow their provided guidelines of Hari Nam Sankirtana, Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hey.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And that's the Maha Mantra both brothers have given us to sing
Hmm.
all the time, every time, wherever, to take us back to the Godhead. That's what my understanding, Prabhuji.
Yay. You always catch the essence. Yes. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, like you said, this is the topmost rasa, right? And that is why very nicely this is sung in Shikharini. जैसे हम बोलते हैं शिखर हिंदी में शिखर बोलते हैं जो summit होता है, peak होता है mountain का, right? So topmost. So if you need the topmost, which is the love, topmost क्या है भक्ति में love of God है, right? हम शब्द शुरू करते हैं श्रद्धा से, लेकिन हमें रीच जाना है, पहुंचना है प्रेम तक, भगवान का प्रेम पाना है. So that is the topmost. If you have to achieve the topmost, then like you rightly said, this is the topmost, prayer that we can sing at the lotus feet of Shri Nityananda Prabhu, who is the, like जब हम जैसे दोनों brothers आए थे, both brothers came to distribute this love of Godhead, but the direct love of Godhead can be attained only through the treasury of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu is like the treasure, like the treasurer, right? So he has the keys to the love of Godhead. So we approach him, and with him, we are able to reach the pure, unconditional, loving service at the lotus feet of Shri Radha Krishna by the mercy of both these brothers. Like Prabhupada was saying in Prabhupada Lilamrit, yesterday, or day before we were reading, he was in Miami, and he was saying the exactly same thing. It was so nice that this whole week we have been singing this prayer, and we've been only talking. Prabhupada has been in Venezuela, Caracas, and Miami, and both the places, he had darshan of these two transcendental brothers, and he tells everybody that you are very fortunate that you are able to worship Sri Chaitanya Prabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Sri Nityananda Prabhu, because these two brothers can, just by chanting, just like you said, just by chanting and just by worshiping these two brothers, they are so merciful that they will make your life successful, and they will get you to the lotus feet of Shri Radha Krishna. So that is the mercy of both these brothers. And Prabhupada again and again emphasizes that, yes, just by the simple process that they taught us of chanting the Mahamantra, chanting the holy names, and by worshipping them, we can attain the highest shikharini of the prema of Bhagavan. So, and it was very nice that Adigadar Prabhu also was talking on the same theme yesterday and this week, as he was speaking on the glories of Sri Nityananda Mahaprabhu. And like we said yesterday, we saw his disciples, and how he was able to take us in all the leelas, from Krishna Leela to Ram Leela to Chaitanya Leela, all the Leelas, in a flash of in a moment. So that is the magic, so like that, in 1 second, Nityananda Prabhu can bestow the topmost love if we just follow the instructions. Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, so let's continue. So Prabhupada is continuing in Miami. So he's saying, okay, we'll start from here. In India, Prabhupada said, he who knows how to join wires and bring current like an electrician is called a Mistri. Mistri means worker, but that does not mean he is educated. Education is a different thing. But at the present moment, the education is technical. Formerly, this technical education was entrusted to the demons. Formerly, they also manufactured big airplanes. But that was being done by the demons, not by the great saintly persons or sages. No, that was being done by the demons. The yogis could also produce wonderful things by their yogic mystic power. That was another thing. But generally, where there was a question of manufacturing, that was being done by the demons. Education, however, means Brahma Vidya, to understand what is the living force within the body, what is its constitutional position, how is it working, where from it has come. On the second night, Prabhupada lectured again. Each talk was lengthy, and he answered all questions. As the last question on the last evening in Miami, one of the devotees asked, Srila Prabhupada, if someone takes prasadam even once, is it true that they are guaranteed at least a human body in their next life? Yes, Prabhupada replied. You go on simply eating, that's all. And all of my devotees, they have come to me simply by eating prasadam. As he said this, Prabhupada was beaming, smiling, and looking all around. When his glance fell on Abhiram, the temple president, who sat beside him, Prabhupada said, You too, Abhiram? Abhiram looked sheepish and said, Yes, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada made other devotees admit their attraction for Krishna Prasadam. You also, he asked one after another. You also. Everyone admitted until the audience was thrown into laughter and appreciation of Prasadam. Yes, Prabhupada continued in good humor. So, we give all facilities. If you cannot do anything, please come and eat with us. All right. Thank you very much. Jai. And now we go to Atlanta. Jai. So we had a devotee from Atlanta yesterday, and now Prabhupada is going to Atlanta. Hari Bol. Okay, February 28th to March 2nd, 1975. The deities of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu in Atlanta are over 4 feet tall and effulgent. Their lotus feet are usually fully visible, transcendently poised atop the whirls of lotus flowers. Their arms are upraised above their heads, and they urge everyone to dance and taste the nectar of the holy names of Krishna. Their faces show mild, compassionate smiles, and the mode of worship of God they are delivering, as described by Srila Prabhupada, is very, very lenient and easy to perform for the unfortunate people of the present age. On his arrival within the Atlanta temple, Srila Prabhupada was very moved to see Gaura Nitai. Now, in 3 consecutive stops, he had entered each ISKCON temple for the first time and taken the darshan of Shri Shri Gaura Nitai ki jai. This time, as in Caracas, it overwhelmed him. About 300 super enthusiastic devotees had gathered to meet him. Aside from the residential devotees of the Atlanta temple, some 40 brahmacharis from Tamal Krishna Goswami's Radha Damodar bus parties, about a dozen brahmacharis from Satswarupa Maharaja's traveling library party, about a dozen men from Tripurari's airport book distribution party, the devotee scientists of Sarup Damodar's Bhakti Vedanta Institute group, and other visitors were present. They had greeted Srila Prabhupada outside the building as he had pulled up in a black Lincoln, and now they followed him with an uproarious kirtan into the temple room within the large house that served as the Atlanta temple. Srila Prabhupada stood before the deities. The ceiling and the walls of the deity room were mirrored and produced an unusual effect, multiplying the images of the Gaur Nitai deities. Prabhupada approved of it. He then walked from the front altar to his Vyasasan, glancing upon the devotees as they parted their tight ranks and allowed him to pass. He sat upon the Vyasasan, facing the devotees, who quickly hushed into silence. So, I'm very glad to see you, Srila Prabhupada began. I'm coming, first of all, from Mexico City, then Caracas, then Miami. I see your temple is the best. At this, the assembled devotees, especially the Atlanta devotees, burst into loud, unrestrained cheers and cries of Jai, Jai, Hari Bol. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very kind, Srila Prabhupada continued. Parama Karuna Pahidujana. Two lords, Nitai Gaurachandra, Nityananda Prabhu, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are very kind, you see. They have appeared just to reclaim the fallen souls of this age. So they are more kind than Krishna. Krishna, he is also very kind. He comes to deliver. But Krishna demands, first of all, surrender. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not demand. At this point, Srila Prabhupada became overwhelmed with transcendental emotion. He tried to speak. He uttered, "He is so kind." But then his voice broke, and he again began to shed tears. He spoke on, but his voice became very high, as he was gripped by an ecstasy that made him helpless and inconceivably humble. So take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he cried out, and be happy. Thank you very much. And then he stopped, unable to say more. The devotees themselves felt carried away and cried out, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, in loud unison, in loud unison. Then, as if commanded, they all bowed down and uttered obeisances. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya. Srila Prabhupada's arrival address was thus completed in 2 minutes, and he motioned to his servant that he wanted to go. The devotees were stunned at his brief, powerful entry. That same evening, Prabhupada came down again from his room. Again he sat on his Vyasasan and said he would teach a song, Parama Karuna. He started chanting slowly with his kartals, and the devotees tried to follow, although few knew the song. Parama Karuna Bahudui Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra Sabavatar Sarashiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda. After a few moments, he asked devotees to play along with him on the mridanga. A few tried, but no one seemed able to find the right beat. Srila Prabhupada then stopped them and said he would show the right drum pattern. He had a devotee rewind the tape recorder that had just recorded Prabhupada's playing kartals and chanting so that he would accompany himself. The devotees were especially surprised since no one could remember exactly how long it had been since he had played the mridanga. The devotees produced one old mridanga, but it sounded dead. A second drum was passed forward, but it was also dead. Then a boy offered his personal drum, a mridanga covered with a bright red and gold cloth. Srila Prabhupada placed it on his lap, tested it, and found it acceptable. He then began to play, while devotees taped a complete recording of Prabhupada playing kartals, mridanga, and singing. In another unusual touch, Srila Prabhupada had put on his glasses, adding on air of studious concentration to his playing and singing. Bhajo bhajo bhai chaitanya nitai sudrida vishwasa kori Vishaya chadiya sirase majiya mukhe bolo hari hari. When Prabhupada finished singing, he explained, Pahu means Prabhu. A shortcut of Prabhu is Pahu. Prabhu means Lord or Master. So these two Prabhus are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is addressed as Mahaprabhu and others are addressed as Prabhu. So these two Prabhus, Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, are very merciful. It was as if Srila Prabhupada was giving a purport to the uncontrollable ecstasy that overcame him earlier when he was unable to speak. Paramakaruna means extremely merciful. Prabhupada explained, extremely merciful because Krishna is also merciful since he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his original feature. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also Krishna, but he is acting as devotee. He is not acting as Krishna. He is acting as devotee of Krishna. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratrashe Namaha. Srila Prabhupada then quoted the verse by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, further describing the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya has come to teach us because we are all in this bodily concept of life. He has come to teach us detachment and devotional service to Krishna. Prabhupada recited another verse, the one Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered to Ramananda Rai as the perfection of religion. That verse begins, Jnane prayasham udapasya namanta eva. The meaning, Srila Prabhupada explained, is that one should give up other processes and just hear about Krishna. And to hear about him, you do not require to change your position. Sthani sthitaha. You are scientist, that is all right. You are lawyer, that's all right. You are fool, that's all right. But you do one thing. You use your ear and hear from the realized soul. In his explanation, Srila Prabhupada told of different events from the life of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come here in Atlanta, he concluded. So you worship this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Paramakaruna Pahuduijana. They are very, very merciful. A little service will enhance your devotional service to a larger scale. Hari Bol Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Okay, so we'll pause here. Such a beautiful, again, coincidence, like I was saying. So, yeah, with Radhikadar Prabhu here. I was just telling him yesterday as he's going back to Atlanta, and Prabhupada is now going along with him to Atlanta, and he very often sings this prayer. When Prabhupada came to Atlanta and sang this, and he was in ecstasy. And Paramakaruna Pahudoijana. So yes, and this whole week we have been hearing glories, singing this Natyandashtakam, and we had a wonderful celebration of Shridhanta Triyadashi over the past 3 days. And we see the mercy of the two divine lords is always there. If we continue to follow, as Prabhupada said, just chant these holy names sincerely, without any offenses. When we do that slowly, and initially there will be offenses. We are all fallen conditions, or at least I am. So it takes a long time to clear the offensive mentality that we may have. But if we continue to practice, we continue to march, then, like we say, the march of Mahaprabhu, on this march of Mahaprabhu, we can become purified by their mercy. Our endeavor is just 1%, like Prem Vilas Prabhu was there here a few weeks ago. He was mentioning, many times we try to do so many things, but ultimately it is just, 1% is our endeavor. 99% is the mercy. So only with their mercy, we can make progress. So we have to become humble. We have to become Das. Like here on the call, we have one Das who likes to remain anonymous. I will not disclose his identity. But, that is Das. So when we become Das, then, we have darshan of our true identity. So when we become that servant of the Lord, servant of the servant of the servant, then we have true darshan. With their mercy, we can have revelation of our true identity, who we are in the spiritual world. So, we just have to follow this very simple process, like Prabhupada is saying again and again. It's not at all complicated. Very, very simple process in this age, because, people in general are very, very lazy, very they don't have time. They're very restless, right? Quarrelsome. So in this age, very, very degraded age of Kali Yuga, as we are kind of in the transitory phase right now, true Kali Yuga is yet to begin, right? So, but we are in the transition phase. जैसे संध्या का phase होता है वैसे already surpassed 5,000 years. Another 5,000 years are left for this golden age, like Prabhupada said, of 10,000 years. So our goal should be to perfect our life. Don't even wait for the next 5,000 years. Perfect our life. And in this very life itself, we can go back. We can have darshan of Krishna, like Prabhupada is saying. So that should be our aim. So if our aim is perfect, and our determination is perfect, our utsaha, our enthusiasm is perfect, and enthusiasm, Prabhupada says, comes with sincerity. We have to become really sincere and really serious. And then we have firm faith. And only with firm faith, we can cross through this ocean of anartha nivritti, which is very, very hard otherwise. But again, like I said, if we are sincere and serious, that's that 1% that we need to show, then the 99% mercy will flow. And yeah, it is just amazing that how the mercy here is flowing from Srila Prabhupada, pure devotees of, the lordships. And now that they are not there, again, through his instructions, he's guiding us. It's like Prabhupada is saying, that Krishna is also very merciful, but Krishna demands surrender. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful, so merciful, so merciful. He's like firstly coming and giving us, right? So like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, they are words of Krishna, they're activities of Krishna and his devotees, right? And those were spoken millions and millions of years ago. Like Srimad Bhagavad Gita was originally spoken to the sun god millions of years ago, right? And now recently to Arjuna 5,000 years ago. Srimad Bhagavatam again is a conclusion. It's basically Bhagavad Puran is a summary of all the pastimes from so many yugas, from different times, from millions of years ago, from different, not just this universe, from different universes, pure devotees of the Lord, right? So again, it's pretty far away, far fresh in that sense from a timing standpoint. But see, Gaur Leela, it just happened now, 500 years ago, right? So it's so recent, so fresh. And just like these days, like anything that you want to learn, we just go to YouTube and we quickly see like a 1 minute, 2 minute video and we learn, right? So like that, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the mode of Srimati Radharani just 500 years ago. And while Krishna taught us Srimad Bhagavad Gita and his devotees taught us Srimad Bhagavatam and how to lead our lives perfectly, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came himself to actually show how to follow those instructions himself, and he'd show us by personal example. So like that, it's like a YouTube video. Personally, he came and showed us, okay, this is what I taught you, but now I'm coming here to show you exactly step by step how it needs to be done, right? So like that. So they came 500 years ago, and now Prabhupada came 50, 60 years ago, and now Prabhupada's disciples are there with us. They're blessing us. And now the next generation, we have these exalted Vaishnavas like Radhika Prabhu. They're coming, they're traveling all over the country and all over the world. And they're teaching us by practical example how to do it. Right? So when we see Achar and Prachar, both, such pure devotees, then, we get inspired, we get that spark, so like I was saying yesterday, they have the flame. And with that flame, they can ignite the spark in each of us. And, they fan the spark, like Prabhupada was saying the other day. We just don't have to ignite the spark. We also have to fan the spark until it becomes flame. So like that, that should be our mood also. And yeah, the smaller we become, the smaller we become in humility, humble as a das, then that is where we can make more progress. But if we have this false notion of proprietorship or education or name, fame, position, power, then we become degraded by that education, so-called education, like Prabhupada was saying yesterday. So yeah, once we identify a true identity that we are Das Dasana Das, then mercy flows 99%, and that is what we are eagerly. Our goal should be to achieve that mercy. And again, that is unconditional, and that will come when we become sincere. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for your wonderful association this morning, on Sunday morning. It is very hard, especially on Sunday morning, to wake up for morning japa, but that is our sincere and humble attempt, endeavor, 1% endeavor. So thank you so much. Anybody else would like to say anything, share anything? Okay. We're also talking about Hari Prabhu. I don't know if you're there. Yes, you're there. Hari Prabhu was helped yesterday when we were talking to Antadeep Prabhu, and he was saying that he was sharing that pastime where he was walking in freezing cold, and all of a sudden you came from behind in a car, and he said, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So he was like, who's in this cold weather? Who's this telling me Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna? It was good. Thank you for your service that you. So Krishna sends his devotees like that. So we are all like I said, Dasanudas. We are all servants of the Lord, and Krishna sitting as Paramatma in the heart. He orchestrates. He sends. Where there is a need, Krishna automatically sends his devotees. So to help Antadri Prabhu, he sent Hari Prabhu. I always call him not Hari Prabhu, but Hari Prabhu. So thank you, Hari Prabhu, for being an instrument in the Lord's service and being there for Vaishnavas. So thank you so much, Hare Krishna. Okay, so let's pause here. We'll end with Vaishnava Pranam prayers. Vanchakalpadalubhyascha kripasindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Leelamrit ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.